Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, but as always, let's take a look at our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and hard-working crew taking care of everyday comfort needs. Folks, I double-checked this, but high today is 97. I double-checked it. It's high today, 97 according to the National Weather Service, and we're looking at a low flip-flopping to 79. So it's going to be interesting as far as the heat coming in that fast, but it's been nice to have a day or two of really not bad humidity, that wind blowing all that moist air out, so I had some of that dry wind coming in from the woods and all. Now let's look at our water temperature, and it appears right at 88 degrees, been very steady at it. Let's take a look at our river readings brought to us, Panama City, Coca-Cola. Good folks down there, and as you can imagine, we'll have some changes in the river. The Apalachicola at a 10.2, and I expect it's going to start going up more with all of this coming in. So tomorrow we'll probably have a more accurate reading, but it's going to be high. And the Choctaw Caraville, although it didn't get a lot of rain, it's up to 5.4. And it's going to start peaking out. It looks like all that rain stayed to the east of us. So I know folks over there in Valdosta, we always keep them in our prayers. They seem to get hit all the time when one of those storms come in. That anywhere on the Florida Peninsula, it just takes dead aim at Valdosta. It's not funny, but I talked to Tony Bass about it. But anyway, move on down to our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today's August is 6th, and good, decent tides today, tomorrow. The rest of this week, neap tide. So if you're going to fish a tide, you want to start doing it today and maybe tomorrow, because we're not going to have any tidal flow this coming weekend. Our marine forecast is still coming north-northwest at about 10 to 20. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Speaking of the storm and all, any of your friends or relatives had any kind of storm damage over there in the Big Bend area, make sure they give Daniel Cole a call to do a survey on it. He can get over there real quick. He knows the area well. He's born and raised in Apalachicola and all that area east of there. There's some boat damage coming through, so any kind of boat damage from the storm, get a hold of Daniel Cole. That's his job, and you know what kind of job he'll do. So let your friends know about it, and he can get over there real quick and take care of it. Got all kind of cool pictures. Speaking of, on the east end, Captain Kim sent this to me before the storm, and this her husband got on the last day of the season, which was last Thursday. My hubby, on the last day, my hubby caught this one on the last day. That's great. So she sent it to me. So here it is right here. Let's see. Let's get this thing straight. There he is. Is that not two fine snapper coming out of Sea Quarters Marina? Look at that. That is two fine snapper on the last day of snapper season for recreational guy. Okay, Jack Nichols out there in Colorado. Jack, he's good about wearing the Panhandle Outdoors shirt. So he's camping in Taylor Park, Colorado at 9,300 feet and spreading the Panhandle Outdoors word. So does that not look really neat? I mean, you got that campfire wrapped up, and so what I did, I emailed him back. He said, P.S. It was 30 degrees when we got up this morning. I said, that's really cool, and excuse the pun, and send some of that cold air down here, because we can use it today if it's going to be 97. Thank you, Jack Nichols, for doing that. Okay, Seasons of Hope. Now, this is right around the corner. It's September 14th. I've mentioned it, but it's the 7th annual Sportsman Giving Back. And this is all the details here, but go and put it in the calendar. If you want to help sponsor it or help pay for someone to get in the kids division, heaviest trout, redfish, mistress rate, and you see the sponsors there. And Michael sent me a list of all the people they helped out. The Gulf Coast Air Conditioning Toy Drive they do every year. He just helps on that. You see all the Anchorage Children's Home and all the way down, and you see the Hope Project on the bottom right, Stuff the Bus. A River Hunter right there, River Hunter, 3-year-old Rivers, severely burned by boiling water, has been in Shands Hospital since the accident, and helps send him funds. So he just has a plethora of people he sends his money to that they that they collect from this tournament. So if you get a chance to support it, go ahead and please do that. This is my buddy. This is Coach Dennis Emanuel. He's not about the same age, and he retired about the same time, and he was at Mowat for a long time. Proof that old coaches still have it in them. Coach Emanuel, on the last day of the season, notice the octopus in the fish's mouth. Dennis needed oxygen only one time during the fight. This is Rick Fowler. That's his brother-in-law, Rick. They're married to sisters, but Dennis is a good guy, a lot of fun to be around. I know they had a great time. Good job, Coach Emanuel. All right, thanks, Rick, for sending that. Greg Gladden, listen, I've shown him a lot this summer, but he's caught some of the tarpon. But look at this snook. Folks, this snook was 36 inches long. This is local here. Greg Gladden. That is, of course, they released it and all, but that's a really, most of the snook caught here are real small. That's got to be the mama right there. Ronnie Stevens sent this. This is a lot of good advice. Ronnie's in the woods all the time. Deer hunters using a shooting house. Time to get hot shot, no pest strips. Keeps hornets out, just saying. And we talk about that. That's exactly right, because our shooting houses, I need to do this too. Our shooting houses are prime breeding ground for wasp nests and hornets and all that. And speaking of all the things going on this fall, I know it's a good ways off, but Pat Bryant, this coming year, we covered this last year, remember? Go and put it on the calendar. Go over there, you don't have to hunt it, but go up there and support it and get us some good food. And they have door prizes and all kind of stuff. Camp seclusion, squirrel tournament. Is that not cool? I really enjoyed it this year. I have it on my calendar. I enjoyed last year. I have it on my calendar for this year. How about this one? Product reliability. How about this 80-year-old solar clothes dryer still works? So I got to look into that. Of course, I saw it and it brings back so many fond memories of growing up and seeing my mom and Miss Betty next door hanging out clothes, and they didn't know what a clothes dryer was, and it's just amazing the progress we made in the area of things like that, and make things more convenient with washing machines and clothes dryer. But I got a feeling with all this solar power coming on, you're going to see more people just hanging the clothes out. It's really after the Hurricane Michael. If you remember, I took a rope and strung it across my patio. And I said, I got Gail a new clothes dryer, because we didn't have any power. And I got a lot of people commented on that new clothes dryer, because she hung the clothes out for a couple of days, about a week, until we got some power. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. Got all kind of pictures. There's always stories behind all the pictures. I enjoy that. It's all, 90% of it's all local stuff, and all except for out of Colorado by the campfire with Jack Nichols. But it's really good stuff. Here's one here. Let me see. Well, this past Sunday, check this out. Mr. Winston, I'm a daily viewer of Panhandle Outdoors. I'm retired from the U.S. Coast Guard. This past Sunday, August the 4th, Coast Guard Day. It's birthday. And you give a belated happy birthday to the Coast Guard's men and women who serve our wonderful country. 1790 when it was established, 234 years old. And a happy belated birthday to the Coast Guard. And I look at the stories behind the Coast Guard, and so many amazing stories there. And we just talked about Miss Mary Anderson passing away. You saw that, and I was able to go to services, and just beautiful service, and I really enjoyed it. I was thinking Captain Virgil was too old to go into World War II, so he became, his job as a fishing boat captain in the Coast Guard, they sort of gave him an honorary membership of the Coast Guard, because he was supposed to take his fishing boat out daily and go up and down Shell Island and out toward the West End and look for German submarines. Can you imagine that? And he was not officially in the Coast Guard, but they had him do that for them. So I always thought it was a cool story. And they ended up catching sharks. And speaking of old good stories and all, Bunky Jones sent this. I won't read the whole thing. It's a picture of the old oystermen. This was near Indian Pass in Apalachicola Bay, and oysters were king, okay? And the picture show belongs to James Shiver Jr., the Shiver family, a real big family down there. It's his dad and brother on the oyster boat, Boy Shiver and Tracy. They were my daddy's friends, but anyway, there's a picture of the boat right there. And you'll see there's so many, these are boats going by, but you see how they were built, built by the families. This is the Shiver family. Of course, they had to put a number on them, but they would reach down with those tongs and spend half of a day tonging. And those guys, I knew some of the guys, and they were hard men as far as strong, and they worked hard, and then had to go through the shells and throw some of them back that weren't big enough. But they were able to manage those oyster bars good until really we lost them when the storm came through. And that tops in us. I hope and pray the FWC and the men and women vote for Franklin County to open the bay for oystering again soon. It's been a sad situation there with so many of that. Okay. This was talking about jet skis last week, running all over the place. This is from, okay. They can run that jet ski anywhere they don't have to get close to the pier. Remember I was talking about the picture last week? Chip took a picture of this guy running up to the pier, hollering and screaming and cussing at folks. But they running up the dead-end creek where you're fishing. This is from Mike Edwards. And turn around and come back by you after mudding up the brink. Here's what's going on. There's so many, we proliferated with jet skis, and so many of them out there. And these kids, they have no, what's the word, manners, but they don't care about anything but just having a good time on a jet ski. I watch it on a daily basis. Well, not a daily basis. If it's bad weather, I don't see it, but they're just going full speed. And the place to do that is like out in front of my house in the center of the bay. And just running around, nobody's out there, running around, do all that stuff you want to do. That's fine. But you start getting around people like fishermen up there in West Bay or East Bay, we don't need to do that. Our young people and older people that's doing it, stay away from fishermen and respect their area. And Mike Edwards had mentioned this to me before. There's so many people over there in Chautauqua Bay, they're going up the river now, and which was bad enough. But now he said, they're going up the creek where it's fishing, and once you fly up in that creek with a loud motor and making the waves and turn around and come back, the water's muddy and the fish were spooked. I had no idea they were going up the creeks like that, so that's the first I've heard. So if you see anybody doing it, just give them a thumb down or something. I mean, that's what I would do. They know better than doing that. So anyway, that's and the guy at the pier, I don't ever know what happened to him. Speaking of airboats and different things, check this out. My Timu airboat just arrived. Listen, I showed one time with a big fan on it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fans. Now, I promise you that would work in a pond because the boat's lightweight, but you have to have enough batteries on there to get it heavy. But that's a redneck airboat, okay? I got the results from the Mexico Beach MBARA tournament, the money they raised. Okay, here it was. They had 119 boats in different divisions. 1,000 people and raffle tickets were sold. And it goes on down to, on the bottom line, always look at the bottom line. Our great business partners contributed $37,700, and they were able to, our net income right here was like $71,000. That is awesome. That's the biggest king mackerel tournament on the Florida East Coast. I'm sorry, the Florida West Coast. They have some big ones on the East Coast around Jacksonville. This makes you think a little bit. Dave Ramsey, everybody knows Dave Ramsey. Now, I don't know if he actually said this or somebody put it on his head. It could be fake news, but it makes you think. You can't shoot deer with a 401k. Buy that new gun, or to buy a new rod, or take that trip. And we talk about that a lot, about putting things off, and I'm going to do that. I'm world first about it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Alaska, and I've been saying that for a very long time about going to Alaska. So we all need to look in the mirror and say, we're not getting any younger. 401k, you're not going to go to Alaska with me. So whatever, just go ahead and be thinking about doing some special trips. I hear from y'all all the time on some of the trips y'all are taking and some of the things y'all are doing, and it's really cool to hear that. Let's take our final break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, folks. Glad you're with us this morning. Hope you're getting ready for having a good day and doing some good stuff. Take a look at our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time this morning, 1:13 to 3:13. We'll finish up on that, but after lunch, 1:34 to 3:34. It's still going to be a little breezy if you're out on the water, but honestly, it's a good time to go to the woods because this, the wind blowing, it's going to be cooler. Well, I take that back. It's going to be 97, so maybe you don't want to go to the woods. I'm always thinking how I should have gone yesterday when the wind was blowing more. I was talking about stories about bears, and most of the stories around this area, and every now and then I run across a story. I just want to share with you this mama bear. This is up in Gatlinburg, Sevier County, Dolly Parton's home place, up there in the Smokies. And this mama bear with 3 cubs, actually, that had complaints on it. The Tennessee Wildlife Authority had complaints on this bear being in the neighborhood. Well, the bear actually broke into the house through the garage door, and believe it or not, went to the refrigerator and was taking food in the house out of the refrigerator. Here's a story. It came from a TV station up there in Gatlinburg. This bear is euthanized after breaking into Sevier County home through the garage. So I started reading it, and this was last Friday, that the bear had been frequenting the area previously, and look at there. Somehow, that's amazing, the bear was smart enough to do that. And of course it talks about these are the babies right here, 3 bear cubs, they named them, named Bubbles, Mojo, and Fuzzy. They were taken by Appalachian Bear Rescue after the mother was euthanized. So they were actually rescuing. They will have a good place to put those bear cubs. They'll feed them a little while till they get bigger and all. Then they'll release them in the Smoky Mountains, and that's a huge area and a beautiful area this time of year. So don't worry about the mama. Don't worry about the babies. But the mama was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But see, they were talking. I read the whole story. They were talking about that the mama bear had gotten in the garbage cans, and that's why he kept hanging around there. And that's why we talk about here down at East Point. That incident happened at East Point because the bear was going in the garbage can. So that's the story there. And I haven't heard anything recently in the local area about that. Moving on, Eddie White sent me this picture. Hey, Coach, look at this big mess of catfish. Eddie White, good job, Eddie. We had 9 of them, and one was 23 pounds. Good job, Eddie, and I know that was some good fishing. Thank you, Eddie, for sharing that with me. Here's a better picture of them right there. Catfish are really good eating. I love catfish. All right, this is my game camera now. I've got 2 or 3 pictures. Just this, in late summer, I want to show to you the color of the deer, the greenery in the woods and all, but then the beautiful color, the brown color and all. It's almost like it's artificial, like a painting. I think I have one more. This is even better. This is just a little fuzz and all, but see the brown color, because this summer, they've been eating good and they've been moving around good and getting a lot of nutrients in that coat. All right, here, I'll laugh at this is Florida history, okay? These are the interstates in Florida. Interstate 4, that's, that was making fun of a bunch of old people on Interstate 4. Interstate 10, that's our redneck Interstate 10. We can identify with that. I-75, that's like a speed. Everybody's flying by on I-75. But then look at 95, it's like Daytona. You think 75 is bad, 95 is even worse. Those 2 interstates are really, I don't like either one of them. 10 is not as bad going east-west. Okay, Rodney Smith, up there in Bluntstown. You see he's clearing his land and all, and he's got a big fire going. What that is, that's a hornet's nest in the ground. And he's plowing, and hornets you just don't want to mess around with them. It's not like a wasp nest. A hornet can sting you time and time again. And so Rodney said, Patty, Lynn, why couldn't you just leave them be, Rodney? And and then he went on and said, there were yellow jackets. They were in a place my bird dogs would be hunting this fall. And they'll sting them. And then someone posted, this is very important. As with bees and wasps, except worker honeybees, okay, yellow jackets can sting repeatedly. Not only is the pain is the sting painful, but it can be life-threatening. Sensitive individuals can enter into shock and die from a single sting. Annually, I didn't know this, I'm going to fact check it, but 40 to 50 people die in the United States from yellow jacket stings from allergic reaction. So that's the story on yellow jackets. I'm, you know, any kind of animal or insect that's around my house or around my family and all, I'm going to dispose of them. If they're out in the woods and not bothering anything, you know, like a hornet's nest, they're cool. But the yellow jackets in the ground, they can really do some serious damage. So I've got some more stuff and all, didn't have a chance to get to it as always, but appreciate your viewership. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Have a great day, enjoy the outdoors, take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.